Hey there. Today's story might just change the way you look at trust, relationships, and the people closest to you. Before we dive in, leave a comment below. Have you ever been cheated on? Or just tell me what city you're watching from, or even what the weather's like right now where you are. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. Alright, grab your drink, get comfortable, enjoy the video. This story is one you won't forget. I don't even know why I'm recording this. Maybe because I need to say it out loud. Maybe because writing it down just isn't enough. Maybe because I'm trying to convince myself that this actually happened. But it did. A few hours ago, I caught my girlfriend cheating on me with my coworker. I wish I could say I'm shocked. I wish I could say this came out of nowhere. But if I'm being brutally honest with myself, I always knew. It all started a few months ago. My coworker, let's call him D, had been talking about moving to a new place. Nothing out of the ordinary. We worked together. We weren't close friends, but we shared laughs during smoke breaks and made jokes about the boss behind his back. Harmless stuff, friendly. And then one day, I found out that the apartment right next door to mine had just opened up. Total coincidence. It felt kind of perfect, actually. I thought, hey, why not tell him? It'll be cool to have someone I know living next door. So I did, and he moved in. That was the beginning of it. I just didn't realize it yet. The first time he met my girlfriend, let's call her S, was at his birthday party a few weeks later. I remember it so clearly. We both went together. She wore this black dress I loved. He had invited a bunch of people from work. There was music, drinks, card games on the floor. They barely spoke as far as I could see. Just a quick, hey, nice to meet you. Nothing special. Nothing suspicious. Or maybe I just didn't want to see it. But something shifted that night. You ever get that feeling like the air changes around people? Like their energy starts vibrating in a way that your gut picks up on, even if your brain can't explain it? Yeah, that happened, and I ignored it. Over the next few weeks, it started small. Little things, stupid things, inside jokes between the two of them, jokes I wasn't part of. I'd walk into a room and they'd be laughing at something, then suddenly get quiet when I asked, "What's so funny?" Or I'd see his name pop up on her phone late at night. "Just something about the apartment," she'd say. "Probably needs help with the laundry machine again." And I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her. But there was this vibe, a weird undercurrent between them that wouldn't go away. I felt like a third wheel in my own relationship. And every time I brought it up, she'd turn it around on me. "You're being paranoid." Seriously? D? That's who you think I cheat with? You have trust issues. Not me. Gaslighting. Classic gaslighting. But when you love someone, you start gaslighting yourself too. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe it was just my imagination. Maybe I really did have trust issues. Then this week happened, and everything blew up. I had a short work trip, 3 days out of town, nothing major. I told her I'd be gone until the weekend. Didn't give too many details. Figured I'd surprise her when I got back. Except the trip got cut short. The client canceled on us. Some emergency on their end. So I packed up, got in the car, and drove back home a day early. I even stopped by her favorite Thai place to grab dinner. I wanted to be the good boyfriend, you know? Show up with food, kisses, and a little weekend surprise. What I didn't expect was to walk into a nightmare. It was around 8 p.m. when I got back. The lights in the apartment were dim. Too dim. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe she was watching a movie. I unlocked the door, walked in with the food, and I heard voices. Hers. And a man's. They were coming from the bedroom. I froze. For a second, I just stood there, staring down the hallway. My heart was pounding in my chest, and yet somehow, I was weirdly calm. I don't know what part of my brain took over, but I walked toward the voices. Slowly, almost like I wasn't in my body anymore, like I was watching myself in a movie. And when I opened the bedroom door, there they were. My girlfriend, my coworker, together, in my bed. I didn't scream. I didn't yell. I didn't throw punches. I just looked at them, and I turned around and walked out. Now I'm sitting in my car, It's been hours. I haven't gone back inside. I haven't cried. I haven't eaten the food. I've just been sitting here, trying to process how the people closest to me betrayed me in the most disgusting way possible. And the worst part? They live next door to each other now. She lives next door to him. They can just be together, right next to the apartment where I gave her my heart. I feel sick, miserable, but this is only the beginning, because you don't just catch betrayal like this. You start to see everything that led to it, the signs, the lies, the whispers behind closed doors. And what I found out later that night proved this wasn't just a random mistake. They'd been planning this for months. After I walked out, I didn't even slam the door. I didn't scream. I didn't ask why. Because deep down, I already knew. The question wasn't, did they cheat? It was, how long? How long had this been going on under my nose? Sitting in that car with the takeout getting cold next to me, I started replaying everything. Every smile they shared. Every time she said, "You're crazy." Every late-night text she claimed was about the leaky sink. I started to remember, like the time she told me she was going to her friend's place for the weekend, but came back with a sunburn and no pictures. Or when Dee said he was visiting family, but I saw him leaving the building the next morning, looking like hell. Those moments didn't make sense before. Now they scream the truth. You want to know what betrayal feels like? It's not the dramatic movie stuff. It's not fire and fury. It's the slow, hollow ache in your chest, like your whole life has a virus running through it, and everything you believed in, corrupted. Every time she said, "I love you," I hear it now like a lie she rehearsed in someone else's bed. A couple hours after I left the apartment, she texted me, "Where are you? Can we talk?" It's not what it looked like. Not what it looked like. I stood in the doorway and watched her cover herself with our bedsheet like a guilty teenager. Dee didn't even try to hide, just stared at me like a deer in headlights. And suddenly, I realized something. They weren't even sorry. They were just caught. I didn't answer her. I didn't go back. Instead, I drove to a friend's place across town. Told him bits and pieces, but even saying it out loud felt surreal. Couldn't sleep that night. I just kept refreshing my thoughts like tabs I couldn't close. And then I made a mistake. I opened her Instagram. You know how people say social media is a highlight reel? Well, this was a horror film pretending to be a romance. There it was. A photo from 2 weeks ago. My girlfriend and Dee at a local food truck festival. I didn't go. I had work. She told me she was meeting up with some girlfriends. The caption? "When it's just good vibes and soul food." He commented with a fire emoji. She replied with a wink. I never saw it, because she blocked me from seeing that post. Let that sink in. She hid stories, hid comments, hid photos. She was curating a lie while I was planning our next vacation. I didn't sleep that night. I just scrolled, post after post. Every picture now looked different. That smile she had on her face, it wasn't mine anymore. That glow in her eyes, that belonged to someone else. And when I got to a video of them dancing at some rooftop bar, a place she told me she hated, I realized the truth. This wasn't a slip-up. This was an affair, a double life. I went back to our apartment the next morning to grab my stuff. I didn't want to see her, but of course she was there. She looked like hell. No makeup, hair in a bun. Same hoodie she wore the night before. "Please," she said, "can we talk?" I didn't even look at her. I went straight to the bedroom and started packing. But she followed me. "I made a mistake," she said. "It was one time. I was drunk. He meant nothing." You ever feel your rage boil so deep inside you that it turns cold? I just looked at her and said, "Don't lie. You posted pictures. You hid them from me. You planned this. You made me feel crazy while you were screwing him across the hall." She froze. I could see in her eyes. I hit the nerve. The mask dropped for a split second. That innocent "I'm sorry" look? Gone. Replaced with something colder. "You weren't around," she snapped. "You're always working. You barely notice me anymore." That's when I realized she wasn't apologizing. She was justifying it. She blamed me for her cheating. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because I'd heard this line before. From other people, other stories. But never thought I'd be the main character in one of them. I left, took a duffel bag and my laptop. And before I shut the door behind me, I said, "You two deserve each other." Not as a compliment, as a curse. Because whatever fairy tale they think they're living now, it was born from betrayal. And that kind of love always rots from the inside out. But here's the twist. You'd think that was the end, right? I caught them. I left. I found out the truth. But no, that night something else happened. Something that made me realize this wasn't just about heartbreak. This was about revenge. Because I found something on her phone. Something she forgot to delete. And what I saw changed everything. The moment I said, "You two deserve each other," and closed that door, I thought I was done. I thought the worst was over. But I was wrong. Because betrayal, it doesn't just end with catching them. It keeps unraveling layer by disgusting layer. And the next thing I found, it wasn't just heartbreaking. It was nuclear. She had left her phone unlocked on the counter. Call it fate, call it karma. But when I walked past it, I looked. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have just walked away. But I didn't. And what I saw confirmed that this wasn't just about cheating. It was a full-blown operation. There was a hidden photo album. One of those recently deleted folders she probably thought she had cleared. But iCloud had other plans. And what I found inside, screenshots, not just of Dee and her, but of me, private texts, work emails, stuff I had shared with her in confidence. She was sending them to him, joking about me, mocking my routines, my texts, even my gifts. One screenshot was a message I sent her 2 months ago. "I miss you. Hope work isn't stressing you out. Picked up your favorite wine for Friday." Underneath it, she texted Dee. "He tries so hard it's almost cute." I sat there staring at it, hands shaking. I didn't even feel sad anymore. I felt rage. Cold, calculated rage. This wasn't just cheating. It was betrayal at every level. My trust, my privacy, my dignity. They laughed at me behind my back. Plotted this whole thing under the same roof I paid rent for. And now they were what, neighbors playing house? Not anymore. Because in that moment, I decided something. If they were going to play dirty, I was going to play smarter. I still had access to our shared files. Shared Google Drive, Dropbox, even our Netflix, which, believe it or not, turned out to be useful. Why? Because I noticed Dee was logging in, under my account, watching shows with her, leaving little love notes in the profile names. Disgusting, but helpful, because I used it to track their viewing habits. Times, days, patterns. Then I did some digging at work. Turns out Dee had been slacking, showing up late, leaving early. He was using my name to cover for himself with our manager. So I started collecting receipts, emails, timestamps, screenshots. I forwarded them anonymously to HR. Detailed, precise, undeniable. 2 weeks later, Dee was fired. I didn't celebrate. I just watched him pack his things from across the office. No one said a word. I wasn't done yet. I also contacted the landlord, told them everything. Not out of pettiness, but to ensure that my name was removed from anything connected to her. She called me a few days later. "What did you do?" "Dee lost his job. Now we might lose the lease." "Why are you doing this to me?" "To you? You lied. You cheated. You laughed at me while I loved you." I didn't reply. I just blocked her. Silence was the loudest answer I could give. It's been a few weeks now. I'm staying in a new place. Clean walls. New locks. New peace. I still think about it sometimes. Not because I miss her, but because betrayal like that doesn't just disappear. It leaves a scar that reminds you who you are now. Stronger, sharper, colder maybe, but wiser. You know what the sickest part is? Even now, I bet they think I was the villain. That I overreacted. That I was bitter. That I couldn't handle the truth. But the truth is this. I dodged a bullet, and they walked right into each other's hell. Because if someone cheats with you, they'll eventually cheat on you. It's only a matter of time. So if you're watching this and you feel that gut instinct, that whisper that something isn't right, listen to it. You're not paranoid. You're not crazy. You're not too sensitive. You're being shown the truth. It's up to you whether you're brave enough to face it or broken enough to ignore it. I almost ignored it, but now I'm free. And honestly, revenge never tasted so peaceful. Thanks so much for watching till the end. If the story hit you in any way, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to support stories like this. Take care of yourself, your boundaries, and your trust. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.